Right, welcome back everyone. As you can see, I bought another shitbox Rover. Yeah, it came to me on the back of a truck. It was about to go for scrap, and the guy just said, "Do you want to buy it off me?" And I looked around very briefly and just thought, it's fairly tidy. Yeah, we'll just have a look at it. And I gave him some money and took it, basically. But yeah, it's a Rover 25. It's done 59,000 miles, so just under 60,000 miles. And yeah, it looks a little bit neglected. There is a little bit of surface rust going on around the arches and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought I'd start a new series, really. And because this is cheap, we're going to do this up, sell it, and trade ourselves up to eventually an MGZT Tourer 190. That's what I would like. And I would like to start from here. So a Rover 25, 1.6 K series, and trade this up to a ZT Tourer 190 V6 one. So yeah, we've got a couple of things to do on this. This hasn't got any MOT. It's been stood for 3 or 4 years, but it has been MOT'd every year. And has literally done 500 or 600 miles in a year. So yeah, I don't really know the full story, but we will just hopefully, I don't know, we'll just do something, I guess. So yeah, but I guess the first thing is to have a look around it and see if it's going to pass an MOT. Actually, I've got an idea.
I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
One hour later.
Right, so I've just gone and just put it in for an MOT and it's passed. Don't get me wrong, it's got some advisories. So we've got some front brake discs which are a bit pitted, probably due to lack of use really. Front brake pipes are covered in other material or grease. The exhauster's got a bit of a leak, and a suspension component corroded, not serious weakened. Front and rear components, so all the suspension components showing a bit of rust and age really. So I guess what we can do is, by the sheet, is just start repairing things. So we get a exhaust on order. I'm not really too sure about the discs yet. Do we replace them? Obviously we're trying to maximise our profit, but we don't want to be dangerous, so we might get some discs and pads on order. We'll check the brake pipes, and then we'll just have a quick look at all the suspension components when we've got it up in the air. Right, I don't know if you can see that, but the boot panel is off and the parcel shelf is off. It's laying on the back seat. I've just gone to try and open the boot, but that's not doing anything. So I'm going to assume that there's a problem with the boot, and they're taking all the panel off to try and fix it and just gave up for whatever reason. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this boot and just see what's going on. Right, so we're inside the boot area. I can see what the issue is. The actual clippy thing is all broke, so when you push the boot, it obviously doesn't push the actuator, which is down in here. So hopefully there we go, we've got the boot open. Well, I'm not really too sure how much you're going to see of this, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be undoing these two screws here, releasing the central locking mechanism. That should just pop off, and obviously the bit for the actual release is broken off here anyway. So I haven't got a tripod, so just take my word for it. We're just going to get all these bits out of the way with, and then we can see what we're playing with. Right, so I've got all that out. You see this little bit here. That's the old one here. Just see where that little roll pin there is meant to go into here and activate the actual, I think it goes that way actually, activate the actual lock here. This is a little cable for it. Now I couldn't actually find one of these second hand with a key, and I don't think you can take the key barrel out anyway, and I couldn't get that to work with the key that I got. So yeah, I don't know, but that might be original, but the ignition might be a different one, or that might not be original. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I couldn't find one second hand, but I could find one brand spanking new, and it came with a genuine Rover key. It's all a genuine part. I literally just looked up the part number and put it on eBay, and this is what came up. So again, a genuine new old stock part. So yeah, I guess we'll just fit it. It wasn't cheap. I think you still get a full lock set. I think that was about 200 and something odd quid though, and this was on its own about 57 quid, I believe. But as I say, it comes with a key. You won't have to use the key because obviously it's all central locking, so that will just go on the spare key because it has got two sets of keys. And then yeah, that should all be all hunky-dory. So I'm literally now just going to stick all this back together again, test it, and hopefully that will all work. Right, that's all on now. Central locking bit is all back on. The cable's all back on and attached to the lock itself. And if I push the button, you can see it working. If I lock it, so that's now locked, and then that just moves that little pin so that don't push that little gold lever. Sorry for the shaky camera work. And then just to test it, we're just gonna put a screwdriver in here. So that should now work, hopefully. So we're just going to shut the boot up. So that's in place. And now it opens. So yeah, all good. So that panel just needs to go on, just clips in place, and there's a couple of little screws that hold that in place. And then obviously the parcel shelf, that can go on, and that'll be that jobbed basically. Right, so that's all back together again now. So we've got our panel on here with our two screws in. Our parcel shelf is all in. And I thought I'd just give you a quick glimpse of what's under here. So we've got, just got the lock on, yeah, it's got the lock and wheel nut tool in there, full toolkit, full spare wheel, all in really good condition. So yeah, all the floors look good, no rust whatsoever on the floor. Just tuck that back to where it needs to be. Yeah, so that's inside the boot. That's that. Hopefully we'll lock the car. Nothing. Unlock the car. There we go. So you don't need the key for that really. So we'll just put it onto the spare and we'll just label it up boot key. So yeah, that's all. That is all good. So I think the next job we should do is probably sort out the blown exhaust. Right, so I've got the car up on the lift now. And we'll just have a look at this exhaust. You can see it's very corroded, not looking the best of shapes. And you can see where it's blown, it's got a slight exhaust leak. And if you look back here, it looks like it's already had a centre pipe in quite, well, I say quite recently, it's going to be a few years I guess. But yeah, the bolts should come out pretty easily, so we'll get them whipped out, get this exhaust off and get it replaced with a new one. Right, so this is the new exhaust that I've got. Zooming out a little bit, you can see the whole thing now. Yeah, just one off eBay, nothing too special. I think it's like 47 quid I think it was. And then I got a new gasket as well, again just off eBay, that was a couple of quid. So yeah, we'll just get it all slapped on and hope for the best. I will put some sealant around here, although the face of the mid pipe looks okay. Yeah, we'll just put some sealant on it and we'll put some new nuts and bolts in it as well. So yeah, just grease everything up just in case it's got to come off in the future. Right, there we go, one exhaust fitted. Nice little pea shooter at the back. All in its rubber mounts and all put together with the gaskets and new bolts. Right, I think the best thing we can do really is just whip off the wheels, take down all the brakes and just have a look to see how bad they are really. And at the same point we can have a look at these greased brake lines. We can clear some of that grease off and just have a look underneath there and just see what it's all about and how bad they actually are, to see if they need to be replaced or if we can just clean them up and paint them again. So yeah, first thing to do is just whip off this wheel and then we can see a little bit more about the brakes. Right, so that's all now apart. I think what's happened is that the old pads has gone down to metal and they've chucked in some new pads because them pads don't look too old at all. But the disc itself is very scored, like the pads have been down to metal at some point, I think anyway, especially it's like this bit here. Not great. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is we're going to stick some new discs and pads on. We did have a little casualty with one of the disc retaining screws, but we've still got another one here. I'm not going to bother drilling that out. We'll just stick this one in. There's still one, and we'll probably replace it actually because that looks a bit chewed up. So we'll replace that one disc retainer screw. You don't really need them, to be honest with you. It just holds the disc in place while you got put all the caliper on and stuff. So, and also another reason why I think that the pad's worn down and eaten into the discs is because it's got a fairly recent caliper put on, like remanufactured caliper. So yeah, I don't know what the other side is like. We'll tear that down next when we do the other sides. Yeah, and the brake pipe, you can see, is absolutely fine. It's just had a little bit of surface rust on it, and whoever done it before has taken away some of this plastic sheathing. You can see that's like new up here, and it is just a little bit of surface rust, and the ferrule is a little bit hit or miss. So yeah, that's not going to cause no issues. That's just, again, just surface rust. The only issue it's going to take is if you need to replace this brake line, you might end up cutting the brake line and actually replacing the whole flexi as one. Yeah, just because it's going to be a lot easier. But that is perfectly serviceable. We're not going to do anything with that. Probably just going to run a wire brush around there, and then just coat it in a little bit of underseal, just to protect it for the future. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to crack on. I'm going to stick some front disc and pads on this, recoat the brake line, and then we'll do the same on the other side as well. Right, there we go. Disc and pads on this front wheel, and we've cleaned up and undersealed the brake pipe. So that should prevent any more corrosion going on there for a few more years. So yeah, we're just going to crack on and do the other side. Right, so that's the other side done. So new discs and pads all round. I managed to get both of the torque screws out in the end, or the disc retainer screws. I did try and replace the one on the other side, but I had the long ones and not the short ones, so that was bottoming out. So I couldn't get that in, so I had to reuse one of the old ones, unfortunately. But the same on here, I have to reuse the old ones. They're not looking in too great a condition, but it is what it is. Hopefully that won't need to be done again for another few years. And the brake pipe is pretty much the same on this side as what it was on the other side. So yeah, just clean it off and just give it some underseal. So yeah, I think we will just stick the wheel on and then maybe go for a road test. Right, before I let the car down and torque the wheels up, I thought I'd just give you a little overview of the underneath. So the MOT certificate states that obviously all the suspension components is rusty, but that is just surface rust. That can all be wide brushed back and undersealed. Look like it's had a recent service as well, by looking at how clean that filter is and how clean around the sump plug is. And again, that shows on the actual dipstick as well. It's like really clean fluid. And then around here it's just all surface stuff really, not really anything to shout home about. All the important bits where they normally go is all nice and solid, like all in here that's just dirt. That's all nice and solid, and the same on this side. Again, all nice and solid. Original cat on there. Again, a aftermarket back or aftermarket centre box, and obviously we put our new box in. Obviously we put our new back box in. Yeah, it's just surface corrosion really. Again, all nice and solid where they normally go. So chassis legs all nice, and it has got a tow bar as well. Right, so we're going for the first drive now, and we've done all our pads and discs, we've done our exhaust, sounds much quieter. Done all the other little bits on the MOT, so we're just going to drive it down the road, try and bed in these new brakes and just see how it drives. I haven't got my GoPro mount or phone mount or anything, so I've got my friend here, James.
Hello.
He's got his DJI, is it? DJI, DJI?
One of them.
One of them. So he's got one of them, and we're just going to go out for a little drive and see how it all goes.
go.
Just pump the brakes up a little bit. So much quieter with that new exhaust on it. Almost sounds like a proper car.
Sounds really sweet actually, doesn't it?
Brakes feel alright on the initial bite anyway. I say I'm not going too mad, just a little run down the road and back again, and just to see how it all performs. Not sure if there's any wind noise, but close that window anyway. The only other thing that don't work in this is the radio, and I haven't got the code for it, so I'm trying to get hold of the code because that is an original Rover radio. So that'd be nice to keep the hold of that because it's got all the display and the clock, I believe. So Rover code. Yeah, so I just need the code for that really. But hopefully I can get hold of it.
So much quieter.
Drives really nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No lumps, bangs or rattles or anything like that. Nice floaty ride. What you'd expect from a Rover really.
Low mileage as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 59,500. So bugger all really for one of these. How old is this motor now? 25 years old?
Is that a W?
99?
No, 1925, yeah.
So 25 years old and it's done less than 60,000 miles.
Beautiful sunny day.
Oh.
With some choice overtakers getting that much. Roof lining's in almost perfect condition. It's so clean in this car. So clean. Lovely walnut.
Love a bit of walnut in a Rover.
It's for the discerning car enthusiast, isn't it?
So we'll do a little bit of a brake test on here.
Yeah, it's much better.
Don't really want to go too mad, but yeah, it definitely comes to a stop. Right, I think we should turn around and head back to the workshop. Right, so I managed to get a radio code in the end. None of the online radio code finders could help me, but in the end I rang Motor Clan, which deal with all the MG Rover stuff. They've taken over X-Part now. Gave them my chassis number and they managed to get me the radio code because this is the original radio to this car. There we go, so that's all now working. Won't leave that playing for too long, if not we'll get told off by YouTube. Right, so there we have it, that's all done. All the mechanical work is now done. As I said, the oil filter and oil all looks absolutely like been done yesterday basically. That's how clean it looks. So we've done all the brakes, done the exhaust, checked the brake pipes and stuff like that. They're all good. Just recoated them with some underseal, and the suspension, corroded suspension components, again there's just surface rust, nothing really to worry about. All the Rovers in this condition or in this sort of age is in that sort of condition, so again nothing really to shout home about. So I think that will do it for this episode. the next episode, I think we're going to concentrate on getting it cleaned up. So the interior and exterior, we'll give it a good going over. Yeah, so we'll wet vac all the seats, give it a good hoover out, maybe run a decontamination scent bomb in there as well. And then the outside we'll give a good old clean the old wheels up because they're looking a bit poor and a bit very ingrained dirt. Yeah, do all the wheel arches and stuff like that. And then I might give it a quick going over with a little bit of a polish on a machine just to try and bring that paint back up, and then obviously do all the trims and stuff like that. So yeah, so this episode is all going to be the mechanical, which is all now done, and the next episode we will clean the thing up, and then we'll run through all the numbers and see how much it's cost me, and then put it up for sale basically. So yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.